Mentorship for me has played a almost unmeasurable role in my life. I recognized early in my career that mentors were important because they would speed up my learning curve, help me do networking, and also help me avoid making big mistakes. So I always was like, if somebody knows something I don't know, then how can I get in their world and their proximity? I think they call that propinquity, is a word around that, that ultimately allows me to start building connection and relationships with this person. And through that, I have been mentored by literally some of the greats on the behavioral side. I'm really good friends with Tony Robbins, have been for 25 years, spent a lot of time with him over the years. I've had any skill set I tend to have a mentor in, any platform I tend to have a mentor in. So mentorship has been really important. And as strange as it sounds, I'm blessed to have a lot of success. I have more mentors today than I've ever had because I'm always looking to take it to the next level. And I think that's a good standard to live by. I would also say one of the things that I realized for your students was when I came out of school, I prioritized mentorship over money. So I saw the investment in the mentorship more important than the money I was getting at the time. And I will tell you, for the most part, that was always a good strategy to figure out who can mentor me to expand my value to the marketplace and what I can do. I will also say I have had good mentors and bad mentors. And I have begun to realize that relationship selection is the most important part of the relationship process. And it's important to understand at the core when a mentor generally has an interest in you, not an interest in you being a pawn in their game. And great mentors are servant-based and they have a love of impacting people. And that's what you really have to look for in any great mentor. If not, you'll probably be a bit disappointed with what the experience looks like over time. And the last thing I would tell you is if you want to get mentored, get visible. Most of my mentorship became because I had a brand that got visible and I worked hard and created results. And that proximity is what created connections to relationships. And it was those relationships that opened doors for other opportunities and for other relationships. So, you have to find a culture that works for you and mentors in that culture. And then the only advice I would give you is strive to be the best. At the end of the day, mentors can teach you, they can open doors, but they can't do the heavy lifting. That's something all of us have to do. I think for networking, LinkedIn is the best place to be in the social landscaping world, the digital world. The only thing that I would suggest is that if you're in there, focus on connection, not pitching things. I always say connection is just about 3 words: trust, care, and help. And what you want to do is to focus on having people that connect to you see that in you, that they can trust you, that you care, and that some way you can help them. Where it kind of falls apart in LinkedIn for me is when I get automated responses on messaging trying to sell me something before they know anything about me. And I think in a world where there seems to be a high level of distrust, LinkedIn is a great place to connect. And through the connections, other things can happen. But I'm not convinced coming out of the gates trying to pitch or sell something on LinkedIn is really the optimal way to use it. But it's definitely the best for business networking. There are mentors that are very specific to situations. Like, for instance, I had a person that taught me about how to build relationships. I had mentors that taught me specific skill sets. I had mentors that simply brought me clarity when I couldn't find clarity and I had too much chaos in my mind. So I can give you kind of an example. When I came out of school with an accounting degree, I was like, gosh, what am I going to do now? Maybe I'll go back and get more education. And I value education. But at that point, I recognized, gosh, business is about problems and people. And most problems are related to people. Maybe I better learn how people work and how culture works. And that little distinction and finding mentors in that area, I think is a big reason I've had so much success in my life in business. So just get clear on what you're looking for and then find the best mentor for that. personal branding has become a revolution. Today, you have to have a personal brand and you have to make it visible. And with that, you're going to build an audience, you're going to build influence. And I always tell a lot of the kids, because I work with a lot of large social media influencers, that influence is a form of capital in business. So it's important to make sure you do have a brand, that you're not the world's best kept secret. And all these things that we're talking about with networking are just ways for people to see your brand and to help expand it. But gosh, you've got to get into the personal branding world to really stand out in a world that's super competitive today.